Hey, good day. This is Coach Tim Bryan of Thumbs Up Running, and welcome back to my channel. So, a lot of stuff going around. I was reading just yesterday about a TikTok articles starting to be all over the thing about some doctor was saying that long distance running and marathon training and stuff like that prematurely ages you and wrecks your body and stuff like that. And so I just kind of wanted to address the issue that they were talking about. Um, if you could like and subscribe, maybe leave some comments for me on this, what you guys think. Um, and I don't know about the premature aging thing. I've got friends that have been running for years that are in the 70s and their 80s, the 90s, and I've never seen anybody that looked like they were old beyond their years. So I'm going to call BS on that one. Now, as far as injuries, um, yeah, I could see how people could doing long distance running and stuff like that can injure their bones and the joints and stuff like that. But there's a caveat on that. What I've seen most runners that do that, they got lousy form, stinky form. That's why my channel and my coaching is thumbs up running, because I stress from the outset that you got to have good form. If you've got good form and your body's not rotating outside of that, you're not causing the excess stress on your legs, your hips, your knees. You know, that's what causes most of the problems. There's two things that I've seen that will cause long-term injuries: bad form and spinal misalignment. What I'm saying is that if you've got your hips displaced a little bit because your spine's out, or the nerves are just not energized because they're pinched, then you're not going to get the strength down to one side of the leg or the other. And so you're going to be off balance because of that. So I've noticed my wife, especially, sometimes she has to go to the chiropractor and she's got to get the hips adjusted like that, because when they get out of alignment, especially from the top of the head coming down, which is kind of like your, I don't know, the control panel is up here. When that's off, then her legs are out of alignment. One's longer than the other, and it causes pain when walking because everything's off. It's not exact impact on one side or the other, and so it's going to reverberate all the way up the leg. It's going to compound itself. So, yeah, so you need to have good form. Practice good form. I've seen some of the worst form out there, and the people with the worst form are typically the ones that are constantly cycling through lower leg injuries, knee injuries, hip injuries, all that type of stuff. Kind of moves up the leg because the impact isn't exactly where it should be and evenly distributed throughout the body and to your gait. When you're running, it gets shuffled off more to one side or one side of your foot or whatever, and causes problems going up your legs. So I'm 54 years old, and I've been running since junior high, and the only time I ever get any sort of leg injuries is when my shoes wear out a little bit, and then they got wore on the side, and I started getting a little bit of extra little pull on that side of the foot. And then I get new shoes, and it goes away. The only other time I've had any sort of problem is shortly before I got some chiropractic work. My hips were off a little bit, and I was starting to get side of my knee out to the hip a little bit. But once I got adjusted, those problems went away. As long as you keep yourself healthy and practice good form. I can't ever stress enough the importance of practicing good form. If you practice good form and keep your running regimen up there, what I mean is don't try to build up too much too quickly, because your muscles will gain strength quicker than the bone strength around that. So you need to no more than 10% a week when you're building up for higher mileage. If you can practice that, Moderation. Ease it into it. Plan out what you're doing. Build up slowly. Use good form at all times. Make sure that if you need to, get your regular chiropractic adjustments. If your back's fine, don't worry about that. What I'm saying is that if you practice not just running your mileage, but everything else that goes with that, as far as keeping the rest of your body healthy and whole, and doing the right thing and having the right mindset going into it, then there should be no reason why you can't run into your 60s, 70s, 80s and not be injured. I got a friend, she's right around 80 right now, and she holds multiple world records for her age group. She sets them all the time because of, I mean, nobody else is running that late in there, but her form isn't all that bad. So she's able to run and do well. I've had other friends that have stopped running over the years, all because of their knees and stuff like that. But I know that they had a lot of shoulder rotation, they had a lot of hip rotation that's caused by that, and it took them out. The people that I've coached over the years that have good form, that I've taught the importance of good form, what they're doing, they're still running, and they're not getting injured. It builds upon itself. The longer you keep good form, you hold off that injury bug. And I'm not saying that you don't twist your ankle from time to time. There's nothing you can do about that. You step on a rock wrong or something, and things happen. And good running form can't correct. You're playing basketball in high school and you tore your anterior cruciate ligament, the ACL injury, or like that. So you already have some structural damage that is occurring. Good form can't correct existing issues that were there from other injuries. But if you're not suffering from that, and good form will keep you in alignment. What do I mean by good form? Glad you asked. That's what I'm thumbs up running. The problem that happens for bad form, besides, like I said, your hips are misaligned and your feet are off a little bit because one leg's longer than the other. Go to a chiropractor for that and get some adjustments. I had problems like this on my shoulders. Not that bad, I'm just exaggerating a little bit. But they had to slowly over time get that because when it was more tilted to one side, I had built up more weight on one side of the body than the other. So we had to correct that. And it helped quite a bit. But what I'm saying is that the biggest problem with running is shoulder rotation, which causes your hips to rotate as well to counterbalance. Your body has to be in balance when it's running. And if you're doing this way, then your hips have to counterbalance to keep yourself, right. And when that does it, that means that your feet are going not where it should be, but where they shouldn't be, coming into the center, which runs on the side of the foot, which overuses the stabilizing muscles, the smaller muscles in your legs, get fatigued quickly and overused because they're having to stabilize your body. And then once they get too fatigued and you start running on them, they knot up, they tighten up, they pull on the bone, they cause all kinds of leg injuries and problems on the attachment spots, especially up near the knee. Then your knee starts to hurt, and then your body starts to compensate a little bit there, and then the upper muscles and the upper part of the leg start to compensate a bit to cover for that pain because you're running a little bit different. And then they start tugging on your hip, and they got hip problems. So everything comes down to stop the shoulder rotation. That will stop the hip rotation and bring it back. And that is done instead of, look at how my thumbs are here, but my elbows are out. But when I rotate my thumbs up, I bring the elbows in. As long as I can keep them right here, then when I'm running within this line right here. There's a plane. I want to have my arms running on that plane, and that will stop my shoulders from rotating. When I'm right here, it keeps that all in line. Now, Can you do it without your thumbs up? You can. It's harder. I just keep my thumbs up. I always know that my ulnar muscle, the ulnar bone, everything is rotated inwards, and it pulls my elbow in. So thumbs up rotates the wrist, brings the elbows in. How you know when you're getting tired that you're losing form? So all you got to do is glance down. If you see your hands moving in to my midline right here, anywhere coming into that way at all, I know that my shoulders are rotating. And then my hips are rotating, and it's causing my footfall to not be where it needs to be. You can correct that. And just remember that. Thumbs up. Then you're most likely going to minimize any sort of injuries, and you're going to be setting yourself up for long-term success for healthy running. Now, should you be doing other stuff? Absolutely. Should be stretching. Should you be strength training? There's other things you can do for your body that are healthy. And you shouldn't always rely strictly and solely upon just running, but running is a very healthy sport when done correctly. If you find yourself constant injuries, ask yourself, am I running with my thumbs up, my plane? How am I running? And how is that affecting everything else on your body with that rotation that's going into your run? I think you're going to find out that if you're constantly dealing with problems, that is probably the main causation for that. Again, you could have some hip alignment, spinal problems, stuff like that could affect that. But other than that, I think the doctor is right. People that keep running with bad form do tend to give themselves longer term injuries that compound themselves over time. A lot of people get stubborn, they keep running on injuries, and that adds to more injuries. So there is some truth to that. But I want to say that it doesn't have to be true if you have good form. If you have good form, then you can run, I don't know, till you're 80, 90, 100. There's people that do that. So, sorry. So the dogs are barking right now. Josh. Good dog. He's a year and a half old, though, and we just got him and love him, but he's still learning to what's expected of him, I guess. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Practice good form. If you have problems learning what good form is, email me. It's out in the description. Contact me in the bottom. Leave messages on here. I'd love to get with you and help you to learn to love and enjoy running for a lifetime. That's what this is all about. So please add some comments into the spot below and interact with me. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I'm run coach Tim Bryan of Thumbs Up Running.